Hi, I'm Ryan, and today we will be presenting the steps for implementing the jigsaw technique in teaching English at the high school level, specifically in Phase D of the independent curriculum. But before which, I want to introduce our group. The first member is me myself, Muhammad Ryan Kufri. The second member is Rifki Usaridi, and the last one is Malik Fajar Oli. Additionally, each person gets to explain a certain topic. I will explain the learning outcomes for Phase D. Rifki, on the other hand, will explain the definitions and how to implement jigsaw method in Phase D. And lastly, Malik will explain to you the instructional media and evaluation method. With that being said, let's dive into it. So learning outcomes for Phase D or Fase D, it's for the 7, 8, 9 grade in junior high school. My explanations will be divided into two key points. First, I will explain the curriculum Merdeka and its elements for English teaching. Second, I will explain the learning outcomes for each element and the learning objective of Phase D. First, the curriculum Merdeka and its elements. The curriculum Merdeka, or independent curriculum, places a strong emphasis on developing comprehensive English language skills in students. There are 6 elements of teaching English, namely listening or menyimak, reading membaca, viewing or memirsa, speaking or berbicara, writing or menulis, presenting or mempresentasikan. Second, the learning outcomes for each element and the overall learning objective for Phase D. Menyimak dan berbicara, listening and speaking. This is for Phase D. By the end of Phase D, students use English to interact and exchange ideas, experiences, interests, opinions, and views with teachers, peers, and others in increasing variety of familiar, formal, and informal contexts. Second, membaca dan memirsa, reading and viewing. By the end of Phase D, students independently read and respond to familiar and unfamiliar texts containing predictable structures and familiar vocabulary. The next one is menulis and mempresentasikan, which is writing and presenting. By the end of Phase D, students communicate their ideas and experiences through simple organized paragraphs. And experiencing through simple organized paragraphs, demonstrating a developing use of specific vocabulary and simple sentence structures. Those are the elements and the objective of its elements for Phase D. Now about the overall learning outcomes, the overall learning objective of Phase D. At the end of Phase D, students use spoken, written, and visual text in English to interact and communicate in a wider variety of contexts, both formal and informal. Students can use a variety of text types such as narrative, descriptions, procedures, special texts, like short messages, advertisements, and authentic texts as the main references in learning English in this space. Students use English to discuss and express their desires and feelings. Their understanding of written text continues to develop, and inference skills begin to emerge when understanding implied informations. They produce structured written and visual text in English with a wider range of vocabulary. So those are the learning objectives for Phase D. Thank you.
So, after the learning outcomes that have been explained before, now I will explain to you the steps of how to implement the jigsaw method in Phase D. I will start with the brief explanation of the jigsaw technique itself. So, the jigsaw technique is a method of organizing classroom activity that makes students dependent on each other to succeed. It breaks classes into groups that each assemble a piece of an assignment and synthesize their work when finished. So, without any further ado, let's dive into each of the steps. The first is choosing a topic. The teacher can choose a topic based on the Curriculum Merdeka or independent curriculum, and then divide the topic into some subtopics. Because this is for Phase D, which is for junior high school, based on the learning outcomes, the topic can be types of text, which with the following subtopics such as narrative text, descriptive text, procedure text, short message, and authentic text. So there are 5 subtopics in total. The second step is divide class into groups. So the teacher can divide the class into groups. The number of the students in each group based on the number of the subtopics that have been divided. Because there are 5 subtopics, the group should consist of 5 students each, which means few groups may have 1 extra member. The third step is forming expert groups. After the class is formatted into groups of 5 members, assign the students in each group with different subtopics. For example, the group 1 that consists of 5 members will be given 5 different subtopics that I have mentioned before. And then each of the students that have the same subtopics will be formed in a group, and it's called expert groups. They are going to discuss and learn about their own subtopics. The next step is expert phase. So the teacher allowed time for the students in expert group to research, discuss, and understand their subtopic. Encourage them to take notes and prepare to teach their original group members. The next step is back to original groups. So each student returns to their original group and teaches their assigned subtopic to the rest of the group members. Encourage active listening and questioning to ensure understanding. The next step is reflection. The next stage is a reflection of the activities that have just been carried out. Teacher can do this by giving questions related to the topic that have been discussed or using other kind of assessment to evaluate the overall understanding of the topic. The last but not least, the feedback. Collect detailed feedback from students about their experience with the jigsaw technique and use their insights and suggestions to refine and enhance the future session of this technique.
Now I want to explain about instruction media and evaluation method. In teaching English at the junior high school level, we use several media to support an effective and interesting learning process. The media we use include LCD, speaker, quizzes, and Google Classroom. The following is more detailed explanation of the use of this media and relevant example of their application in teaching, specifically for the topic of narrative text. Media used in teaching. For the first is LCD or liquid crystal display. Uses LCD is used to display learning material in the form of PowerPoint and learning video. This allows for clear and enhancing visualization of materials for students. Next is speaker. Speaker help clarify the sound of learning video and teacher explanation, ensuring all students can hear well. Next is quizzes. Quizzes is used as an evaluation tool to test student understanding interactively. The platform provides enhancing quizzes with gamification elements, so students feel more interested and motivated to answer the question. And the last one is Google Classroom. Google Classroom is used to manage and distribute learning material online. Students can access materials anytime and from anywhere, submit assignment, and interact with teacher and classmates. Example of the implementation in teaching narrative text PowerPoint presentation. The first slide explains the definition of narrative text, which is a text that tells a story in a logical sequences of events. Narrative text structure. The next slide explains the structure of narrative text, including orientation or introduction to the story, complication, and resolution. Next is characteristic of narrative. Another slide explains the characteristic of narrative text, such as the use of past tense, the presence of character, and setting the use of action verb. Next is learning video. Example story. The learning video feature example of narrative story complete with subtitle to help students understanding the storyline and improve their reading skills. For example, classic story like Cinderella or The Lion and the Mouse, listening and the pronunciation student list and the narration of the story in the video, which help them improve to pronunciation of word and enhance their listening skill. Next is evaluation methods. For the first is reflection. In the reflection stage, the teacher can ask student questions related to the narrative text topic that has been discussed. Second, this question can cover student understanding of the definition, structure, and characteristic of narrative text. And the next is the goal is to evaluate the extent to which student can understand and apply the concept that have been learned. Two is individual assignment. The teacher can give individual assignment to students, such as asking them to write a narrative text with a specific theme. Through this assignment, the teacher can evaluate the student ability to organize idea, use the linguistic features characteristic of narrative text, and construct coherent text. Next is presentation. As a follow-up to the individual assignment, student can be asked to present the narrative text they have written. This presentation can be used to evaluate the student ability to convey ideas orally, use appropriate language, and answer questions from the audience. Next is portfolio assessment. The teacher can ask the student to collect various work products related to the narrative text, individual assignment result, revision draft, and reflection in a portfolio. This portfolio assignment can provide a comprehensive picture of the development of student understanding and ability in writing narrative text. Okay, that's all for us.